Well, it's been a long month, but it's finally time for us to get back into some Smash Brothers, and what better way to do that than with a drink? Now, we've been away for a couple weeks, so we might need a little bit of an extra kick to get our motor running. For this drink, we're going to need some Captain, and for flavoring, a bit of orange liqueur. We're going to cut that with a bit of blood orange San Pellegrino, and for that extra burst of energy, let's grab some Red Bull. Now, this time we really want to light a fire under our ass, so let's grab a nip of Fireball as well. As usual, we're going to need a shot glass for measuring, and of course, please drink responsibly. Definitely don't drink and drive. Like, don't be a fucking idiot. Seriously, why do you think James McCloud really isn't around to watch his son become a Star Fox pilot? Anyway, we're going to start with a shot of Captain Morgan, followed by 2 shots of our orange liqueur. Mixing in with that, we'll take 2 shots of Red Bull. Followed by our nip of Fireball. As for the San Pellegrino, we're going to cut the entire drink with that in a 1-to-1 measure. What you're left with is something sweet and spicy, tart and full of energy. This is the Falcon Punch. Now you're ready to hit that dance floor and show them your moves. Hello everybody, welcome to the D-Pad. I'm Rick. This is Super Smash Brothers Melee. As I fix all of my stuff real quick. I didn't get a chance to finish our Getting Smashed video in time for the stream itself. It'll be going up for anyone who's watching this on YouTube. Obviously you will have seen it moments ago. And my copy of the Settle and Smash track, it got moved, I guess. So I have to find what drive that suddenly warped over to. I think I have an idea, but I'm not positive. But yeah, we're finally back to do some Melee. We have, oh god, how many is that? That's about. Actually, did I take the number down last time? Maybe they'll be faster. I probably have. That number doesn't look quite right. 6, 12. I have less than 70 to go. Let's just go with that. I have less than 70 trophies left to go. We have a bunch of adventure modes to complete. It's the only one-player mode that we haven't gone through with everybody, so that's going to be our main thing today. And then we're going to be focusing on what's left for the trophies. We got a bunch of versus matches to do. We got random lottery trophies. We have to do various end-of-match bonuses. There's a few of those that'll be tricky to set up as well. But yeah, so cool. Let's dive on in. Hello, Protoss. Doing okay? Busy. Life is busy as shit. And it's been an interesting ride lately. It'll be interesting to talk about at some point, hopefully soon, but we'll see. In the meantime, let's get things rocking. Who do I start with? Let's start with the old Captain Flak Jacket. Let's give ourselves 5 just because. I'm going to make this as painless as possible. We still technically have to do a no damage run in some one-player mode. It doesn't super matter which one. Adventure mode seems... Whoop, something just fell. Was that a... Oh, it's a lipstick. All right. Whoop. Also, jumping on Goombas can get you a trophy, which is why I'm making a point of actually jumping on all of them, because we do have a decent amount to go. I think we actually have all of the... We have all of the trophies that you can only get, from one-player modes. So we don't... we could get by without doing this, but it doesn't hurt to try and make our lives a little easier on the far end of it. Not a lot of luck so far. We haven't seen any of the spots where... We haven't even seen any just regular trophy drops. Because usually there's some trophies just lying around in a couple specific spots, but so far all of those spots have been empty. Oh, boy, that was almost really bad. Nope. Oh, you son of a bitch. Ooh, wasn't it the takoyaki or something? I think we already got that one. I don't see it on our list. Oh, Jesus, I keep slipping off the sides here. Jeez, holy cow, that is scary. Hopefully everything turned out all right there. I'm sorry I had to deal with that. That's got to be very, very stressful. There we go. Oh yeah, I don't think we've gotten Mew yet, have we? I'm gonna double check that. I think we got Celebi, but not Mew. Double check that real quick. Yeah, we don't have Mew yet. We also have Mushrooms, Firefly. There's a couple bonuses I kind of target as being like, okay, here's something I can kind of vaguely try to focus on. Claptrap we have to have gotten by now. I'm pretty sure we have, yeah. All right. There we go. Nice. I'm looking forward to... I'm probably going to wind up doing a... possibly a full like living dex in Violet. We will see. Doing it in streams makes it a lot more bearable because it means, you know, that is something I definitely would not do in just regular episodes. Like I could see myself playing the game and then doing like living dex streams or something afterwards, but there we go. Ha! There we go. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I think Captain Falcon is someone who can actually do the flying meteor. So you have to hit an enemy who is reeling with a spike, or a meteor smash, rather. Which I've never... I hate... The terminology bothers me because it feels like they just kind of randomly decided on just stuff. And I went, yeah, sure, that counts. What? Oh, my God. The hard part is hitting someone while they're reeling, because, like, usually that means that they're, like, on their way. I don't know, you have to, like, chase after them, kind of. Which, for some situations, is better than others. I did hear that Pokemon got a 1.1 update. So by the time I do stream number 3 for Violet, it'll be at least moderately improved compared to the first two. Well, that was easy. Alright. I hope that it has. Like, it's amusing to see the glitchiness and stuff for a little bit, but after a while it just kind of becomes annoying, so... Alrighty. Sometimes there's a trophy down here. Octorok. We must have that one. Yeah, I think we do. Oh, nice. Get that over quick. Oh, yeah, quick balls are definitely going to become... I also realized, I feel so stupid, and realized after the fact, I'm going to have to do it for Stream 3, is that I kept kind of just dodging enemy Pokemon. Like, because a bunch of them I was like, oh, I didn't get it, you know, I don't want to spend all this time, you know, catching stuff, especially we had Ween and Squishy from Ape Arcade, and I wanted to make sure that we were, you know, doing at least something, which... You know, results varied somewhat on that one. But I realized, like, right, if I hit just the right bumper, I could have sent my dude out to just fight. I could have sent whoever was in the lead to just fight random battles and get leveled up instead of just avoiding battles altogether. But that's okay. We can do that for the next one. I almost pulled off a miracle win against the Stone Titan. Yeah, that was the thing, and like, we spent legitimately like the first hour and a half of that stream was almost entirely cutscenes, and I was like, that's not okay. I gotta like keep this thing moving. And so after that, I was like, all right, I just want to like let's travel somewhere, let's do a thing. Groundale Gang for life. I do the dab, you know, the little dab thing, but the mics are in the way. I'll have to figure out whether future guests are also part of Groundale Gang, or if that's just an us thing. Who knows? We'll see. That'll be the thing. I'll make all of our guests compete for the best the best gang, the best group name and dynamic and uniform. There we go. Mr. Saturn. Interesting. Almost certain. That's one that you normally... I think the Mr. Saturn one usually have to do in like a weird way. Alright. 7-star raid, dang. I didn't even know that they had that many. Alright. Koibi. Oh, damn it. If I didn't second guess myself, I could have definitely made that work. Oh, damn it. Well, that wasn't quite what I was going for, but I'll take it anyway. Getting all that stuff. All right, the Carboys. It's event exclusive. Terra Dragon. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, and of course it's a Charizard. Why would it ever be anything besides a Charizard? What is the Marth Kirby even doing over there? Expecting him to, like, die from a block hitting him. We're all just hanging out now? There we go. Whoop. There we go. Just spike him into the ground and into the universe. All right. Oh no, it's Kerbig. It's the Kerberator. Oh, I literally jumped into that. Buh. Oh. Oh, damn it. I was hoping I could get around him. There we go. It's honestly getting comical at this point just how much Pikachu, like, I get that Pikachu is you know, the mascot of the series. Charizard, I guess, is also at this point basically the mascot of the series. It's like ridiculous how much they force like, it's easy enough to take Pikachu, who is a, you know, just a basic level Pokemon, and just include him in stuff. But like, not only do they like visibly not give a shit about Charmander or Charmeleon, it's only Charizard. They keep making sure that Charizard specifically gets all of the like new gimmicks that are going on with each game. I feel extremely bad for the Bulbapedia editors every time they have to make a new formatting change to the Charizard page. And they're like, fuck, we can't fit all this shit in the info box. How the hell? It's like like Final Biscuit when he goes and makes you know, and adds another row to one of our Sonic games, and on the D-Pad wiki at dpad.fm/wiki. Yeah, Charizard is cool, but also like what makes some Pokemon particularly cool is that, you know, they're not always there. Oh, Mega Vitamins. I did not need those. I already had those. Yep. Let's hang out for a second. All right. Ooh, baby. All right. All right, so the goal is to at least finish off adventure mode today. At least all of the, like, the main, like, at least have beaten adventure mode with all of our remaining fighters that haven't beaten it yet. There are some, you know, adventure mode challenges that we'll still have to do, but I should tone down that light on the side there. It's a little hot. Let me just go ahead and... There we go. Perfect. It was like blowing out my face on that side. It was like a redder than red. Oh. Hello, boys. Time to die. Oh. Get over here. There we go. Fixed nature and IVs. Oh, yeah. If that's the case, then that's basically an event Pokemon. Because the event ones were always hard-coded. Like, they were all literally identical. Down to even having the same trainer ID, if I remember correctly. Ooh, Daisy. Do I have Daisy? Looks like I do already. Okay. Nice. Wouldn't mind another trophy in here. Fuck you. No, you're not even the same one, but I don't care. There. I feel better now. Oh, did it just despawn entirely? That sucks. No. Oh. Oh, god damn it. That'll do. Got and bred some Charmander's trade in the game, and they said they weren't allowed to be traded. Oh, interesting. So they have like a little blocker inside of that. That's very interesting. I never really thought about that, whether that might be a thing. I suppose a big problem there is event Pokemon could hypothetically have completely illegal moves, right? Like, wasn't there the original flying Pikachu or something was an event Pokemon? And it had a bunch of moves that were definitely not legal, which would then completely fuck up a bunch of the breeding or something. Oh, weird. Oh, why would they do that? That's very strange. At that point, just properly make Charizard a legendary Pokemon and stop dicking around with it. Like, I don't know. I'm honestly waiting for the point where they properly just make fourth evolutions. Like, Mega Evolutions were like 50% of that. It's like, all right, at what point are you just gonna commit? Do, like, you know, Digimon's got Mega Evolutions. Actually, yeah, they also are Mega Evolutions now I think about it. No, yeah, wait. Because it goes to Champion, then Ultimate, then... Isn't Mega the fourth evolution with, in Digimon also? Yeah. I think we made a joke about that when that first happened. That Pokemon was going with a Mega fourth evolution as well. In fact, added in the second series of V-Pets. Oh, hey, right. We can do this, and we got Captain Falcon. Where is he? Am I dumb? Did I not need to do Captain Falcon? Or did I accidentally click him before? I don't see him on my list here. But we didn't have a score for him. Oh, you know what? I'm very dumb. So, I did need to do... So, this is a fun thing. Oh, God. I'm trying to remember if it's this game or... It's getting more and more interesting as time goes on here. So, at least one of the Smash Brothers games, I think it's this one. It might be for the 3DS. You don't... So, essentially, you can... So, a bunch of these trophies you can get in 2 or more ways. for the fighter trophies, at least for this one, if you do a certain number of battles, I want to say, versus battles, you'll just get trophies. You'll get trophies for, like, doing blank number of versus battles with that given fighter. I want to say this is Brawl or, like, 3DS or something. But the flag for getting the trophy is the same as the flag for having beaten whatever mode you would have to beat in order to get the same trophy. So what it does is it just kind of doubles out. So essentially, if you beat all of the adventure modes except for, say, Yoshi, and then you got the Yoshi trophy for just doing a bunch of versus modes, the game would also give you the rewards for having cleared adventure mode. It's so ridiculous and weird, and it just makes it so much more confusing. I haven't done Peach yet. Let's bring Daisy out. Daisy, let's go. So we did not technically, sort of, maybe we might have needed to. We might have not needed to, but it's a good warm up. Got us in the groove. All right. Ooh, Star Rod. We did not need that. Princess Peach. Meet Princess Beige. All right, I threw a Pokeball, so I can't do the Mario items one this time. Whoop. Doink. But I do still need to try to get... Okay, I shouldn't throw them off screen. Oh, they're really giving me a lot of fucking Pokeballs all of a sudden. I don't know what that's all about. Actually, can I get this through here if I... Okay, well, I don't want to get hit with Poison Mushroom. Ugh. Nope. Oh, that is a regular one. Whoops. All right. There's like a really weird trophy, or not trophy, bonus that you get for doing... Is that more Mega Vitamins? God damn it. For doing 100 damage or more with the Super Scope. It's unclear whether it has to be one Super Scope. I don't think it does, because I'm not sure how you do that other than setting up, like, 5 people standing in a row and you just shoot them all at the same time or something, but... There we go. God damn it, I'm never going to get this Mew. There we go. Yeah, Discon's going to be kind of a pain in the ass. They can't change the HP stat. They really can't make something more defensive very well, which is true. It kind of becomes just a sort of a glass cannon fest. They're decidedly weaker, you know, than the like Gigantamax forms that they get instead. But like Gigantamax just like it doesn't make as much like sense in context of the Pokemon battle you're having as Mega Evolution does. Like you have to have like a zone for Gigantamax and or you have to be in a place where there's a lot of that energy around anyway. Oh, nice. Well. There we go. Get down here. Oh, what? There we go. Shows up in the Pokemon Masters. Yup. By the way, have we actually gotten Luigi to show up in Adventure Mode yet? And or do we need to? No, I think I already have whatever bonus you get for that. That one's easy to do. All you have to do is finish the Mushroom Kingdom stage with a 2 in the seconds. In the single-digit seconds column, I believe, is how you do that one. Which is, you know, Luigi player 2, that kind of thing. Which makes sense. But I believe we already got that in like the standard Let's Play. So we don't have to worry about that one. We can do it just for shits and giggles, but we don't need to. It is great fun just dunking on Donkey Kong. They gave Megas to a bunch of 600 things plus equivalents to the Hoenn region legendaries. Yeah, they kind of were like, hey, here's this cool thing that like we can use to make cool new evolutions, like temporary evolutions of Pokemon, and also it gives us a chance to kind of retype and rebalance things that we've had some time to reconsider over the 20 years of the franchise and all this stuff. And then they were like, yeah, also a bunch of legendaries get it too. And some of them get it as like a totally different form from that. So, like, you don't have to, like, it'll just kind of mess things up even more. But it'll be like a held item thing instead, which definitely doesn't, like, horrifically, like, granted, the legendaries were always supposed to be, you know, stronger than the rest, but this was just like, what if we totally obliterate the balancing that we were setting up with this? Ooh, Kirby hats. I think I've got all the Kirby hats. Still have Captain Falcon. I do need Fighter Kirby, but I don't need any Kirby hats at this point. I got all the Kirby hat trophies. Right. Yeah, Mega Rayquaza is just, it's like UU or something like that, or is UU a different one from that also? Am I even getting the letters right on that? Is it UU is a lower tier. Okay. Tier was called Anything Goes. Alright. Jesus Christ. Wow. Let's see. Doing. Oh, alright. Take that. Yay. And we're gone. This drink is spicy. Anybody happen to know if the different weapons, I guess, for Peach's Smash attack have different, like, damage or knockback values? It feels like they do. It's always felt like they kind of do, but I don't know. Okay. There we go. Oh, like. I'll check that in a sec. I think we have like already, though. Looks like we probably already have like. Ooh! Ooh, come on, so slippery. Oh, I didn't drop down fast enough. Whoops. They do have different knockbacks. Okay, that's what it seemed like. Like, it seems like the frying pan tends to knock back in a more, like, straight direction. Or, no, never mind. I'm thinking, I guess, the golf club. Tennis racket seems to be kind of in the middle. Alright, Pew, pew. Coirbeels. Oh, yeah, I didn't actually look for, like, I think it does look like we have it already, though. What is... Everyone's just, like, being weird. There's definitely, looks like, different hitboxes, too, because I didn't hit the, that little container with the tennis racket, but then I did with the golf club. Oh, yeah. No, I love it. I remember even when I first played this game, I was like, oh, she's got her frying pan again from Mario RPG. That's a game that I would low-key love to see get some kind of remake. In my heart of hearts, I would literally love to see like a 2D, 3D remake of it, just because it would be so strange to see it in such like a serious, I guess, artistic style, but it would be rad as shit to get that kind of like perspective and field of depth of field blur and all that stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Geno spirits. Whoop. You can do it, buddy. Oh my god. Whoop. There we go. Yeah, it's great that Nintendo and Square Enix are on better terms. I don't know that they're necessarily on, like, the same level of terms as they were back in the early 90s, but they certainly get along, you know, at this point. But, you know, Mario RPG would be really good to see something come back from that. Oh shit, can I do this quick? Come on, Mew. Come on, Mew. Come on, Mew. This is my best opportunity, shy of like just setting up a versus match that just has a bajillion trillion Pokeballs to it. I'm just spending the whole damn fucking night doing that. Oh my god, come on. Dude, what? Whoa! That'll do. Yeah, like, anything that we don't get by the time we're done with essentially these adventure mode ones we're just going to do in like, setup versus mode situations, it would be nice. The more of them that we can do, you know, organically, the better. It just feels better. But I'm also not going to shy away from just setting it up. We're putting in tens of hours to this. I'm not going to be that precious about it. Okay, nothing over there. Oh, this was a mistake. Ooh, there we go. Honestly, even with the CPU, if I set it to level 1 and I could go to, like, you know, I could go to like Hyrule Castle or something and just, oh shit, well, Snorlax. I think I have a Snorlax already. Let's see, the Pokemon that I still need are Venusaur, Chansey, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Raikou, Suicune, Ho-Oh, and I could swear, yeah, Ditto and Eevee. And Professor Oak and Misty. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, number. Oh, that was about to be so bad. Oh boy. You got me, you throw them off the edge. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Come on up here. Nope, nope, too many of you. There we go. Alright, I have to hit start specifically. What are we going to get for a trophy today? You know, I'm sure that I'm about to jinx it real bad, but we've actually had pretty damn good luck with our internet lately. We had a couple blips back in October, but it seems to have stayed pretty stable since then, including the 24-hour marathon stream, the D-Pads Super Soft Extra Life Charity Marathon stream. I don't think, according to XSplit, we didn't drop a single goddamn frame. So, and that was across 26 hours. So, yeah, that went pretty fucking well. And it's been pretty goddamn clean since. I don't know what it was that caused it. We could just happen to have one of the bad Intel chip, routers or something. I don't know. Oh, good. We're not getting a trophy today. That's cool. Whoop. There we go. Get over here. Boing. But yeah, no, we haven't had any issues with it. I've been very pleased. All right. Ba-ba-ba-da-boo. I think one of the more interesting trophies for this, because it's to my understanding, it's quite hard to track if you're not paying attention to it. You just kind of have to hope that you're getting close. But the Tom Nook one, you have to get 1,000 Smash coins to get that particular trophy. And you get Smash coins. The Smash coins are those things in the bottom left right there. And the little ones, I don't think count. I think you have to get a big one. Like the little ones are like a 10th or something. I forget, but takes a while. That's usually one of the big. Do they have an S on them? I couldn't tell. I thought that was just like a stylized, like just kind of random texture thing. But not to be confused with the coins from coin battles, which we also have to do, but not in the same way. But usually the Tom Nook one is one of the things that slows down 100% melee speedruns the most. Because especially, like, I'm taking my time. I'm not doing, like, I mean, aside from the fact that I'm not speedrunning it, and I if I were trying to, it still would not be. Oh, damn it. Okay, at least it's not. The point being, if you're actually speedrunning the game properly, you have far fewer opportunities to get those coins. The coins are generated essentially by, I think, basically by doing smash inputs. By which I mean, like, you do smashing on the joystick. So you can wave dash, you can, I think crouching counts, just all on its own. So sometimes people will just literally crouch for hours.
Did I win?
You sure did. But because we're not speedrunning it, not like I'm trying to go slowly or anything, I'm just not that good at it. Because we're not speedrunning it, we have far more opportunities to just randomly getting smash inputs, to randomly get more coins, smash coins rather. So hopefully it won't be a huge deal. I mean, if we get near the end of this and we still don't have the Tom Nook one, then yeah, I'll probably just start hopping into versus mode and start doing, smash inputs to get there. But yeah, to my knowledge, I don't even think it tracks. I mean, I'll go look right now because I'm actually curious, but I don't think it actually even tracks in, like, the data side of things. Melee records. I think it's miscellaneous ones. So there's the coin match total, which is the number of coin melees, not smash coins. They obviously realized that this was, like, a pain in the ass, and they got rid of it after a while. They decided, like, hey, let's not have both of those be a thing. Yeah, so I don't see Smash coins in there anywhere, and this is just battles and things in general. So, yeah, that's the thing. If you have 4 players for the versus mode stuff, then you can get through that real fast. Solo, it's going to be a lot slower, because only the ones that are input by human players count, like you're saying, yeah. Is that everyone on the top row? Did I do Ganondorf? I did not do Ganondorf. All right. Ganondorf's a relatively good candidate for a no damage run if I can be smart about it. of course, he platforms like a little bitch, so odds are I'm gonna wind up having problems with that anyway. Ah, get away from me. Ugh. Just gonna let them both come down here. Oop, oop. There we go. Ooh, a star rod again. Don't need a star rod. Get over here. Ooh. Ooh, a little pill container. I don't know if I got that one. I'll have to check in a minute here. Oh, hello. Well, this is going to make things interesting. Oh, damn it. Ah, Jesus. Oh, no! Well, there goes that. Ultimate is clear the platforming gauntlet at the end of the World of Light with Ganondorf. Yeah, I was going to say, like, he jumps terribly. That's got to be, like, awful trying to do that. I think I remember actually seeing that, because I recall around that time I looked up what the what some of the later achievements were, just out of curiosity, and then there was like, oh my god. Nice! I hope you enjoy the Return 5. Be gentle with it. It's not like a cheap system by any stretch, but like it's a little on the more delicate side. We have definitely lost the odd Retron or two in the past by mishandling it slightly, but it's pretty rad. Since I haven't used the Polymega, it is so far the best retro game device that I've ever used, with like physical cartridges in particular. So hopefully that'll work out well. Alrighty. Ready? Go. Know the words you can join in too. There we go. Pour the rest of that. Ready? Go. Oh. What? Literally hit over me. That's amazing. All right. Underground maze. Time to be bad at platforms. Whoa! It's a good recovery, though. Oh, no! I thought I was far enough over. Apparently not. It's the first time I've actually fought in this stage in, like, a while. Whoops, I fucked that up. Ah. Oh, really? There we go. Oops, well, could have done that smarter. Oh, I love that the camera actually is doing it like, it's actually doing it based off of our size and not just our position. Oh, I was literally air dodging at that moment. Oh my god. Oh god damn it! I like tripped on the platform. I suppose it's fitting that I have to fight Link a whole shitload of times here. There we go. Ooh, a baseball bat. Nothing up there. Ooh, almost missed it. Oh, there we go. Oh, Christ. Really? A perfect... I'm on very easy, and she just frame perfect block that. There we go. Yeah, honestly, that's the biggest... Well, so... The real question is if we're ever going to see the retron... Like, the retron of PS2 and up style games. Sony... Like, there are emulators. There are emulators for you know, later on disc consoles. The problem is, when it comes to physical ones, they got clever with some of the copy protection on some of those. Like, Sony famously has the wobble. So if you look at a normal disc essentially has a spiral of concentric lines all the way along it. But a PlayStation, I think the PS3 specifically, has a wobble to it. So it's not just a curve, like think of like a spiral. It's not like that. It's a spiral, but it wobbles a bunch. And the wobble actually functioned in part as, well, did two things. One, it was copy protection of a sort because basically nothing else could properly read them because the hardware knew how to do the wobble thing properly. But also it served as region locking because different regions had different wobble algorithms. It's genius in a way that doesn't require like DRM bullshit. And of course to various degrees it got cracked very quickly, but it's just like, it's such a clever thought. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense for a way to both prevent randoms from copying your shit and also make a software-based region lock. That was kind of neat. I don't know. Anywho. God damn it. Okay. Okay. Are you kidding me? Die. Thank you. There we go. Boy. I don't think that sound effect plays anywhere else in this game. What? Wait, I gotta let him do that again. Giant Kirby sounds fucking weird. Oh, a second later would have done it. Oh. I found O. Ah, damn it. It's fine. Ding. Is this Smash only attached to something? No, I'm just a stale motherfucker. I'm working my way through 100%ing, well, at least through the trophies, 100%ing Melee. I'm not getting the, like, oh, Christ on the fucking cross. There, get on my, oh my god. I still have to get Mew Catcher, which is low-key frustrating, but this match is good for just picking up a bunch of Pokeballs for free while doing other shit. But yeah, no, I'm a Weenie Puff Jr. who primarily just fights in smash attacks because that's just me. But hello, welcome. Here we go. Time to be not good at being fast. I low-key feel like I could run a lot faster than Ganondorf. And I am not particularly in shape at this exact moment in time. Alright, nothing there. Oh, good lord. I feel like there's probably a couple spots on this track where you could, like, pixel perfect manage to smush yourself down so that the vehicles do not interact. Can I get there in time? Oh, just barely. Ooh. Are there no trophies this time? Are we going to get one right near the end here? Is it Crobat? There we go. Well, that's the pro. He's cheating. He's got metal knees. That's the... Oh! Well, that was a fun lesson in who had the superior armor on that one. I would have thought that the Warlock Punch would have done it, but all right. Interesting. Huh. All right. Time to beat up some boys. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. All right, keeping on moving. It does sound like a superpower. One day I fell into a vat of surgical replacement knees. Ooh, Baby Bowser. I have Baby Bowser already. Damn. Big bummersy wummersy. Let's see, the trophies that I need that are like special requirements. It looks like we got the Master Hand, which I think, or Crazy Hand rather. Which one is that? Is that the one that's... I thought that was related to doing the one with no damage, but I guess not. Oh yeah, Crazy Hand is beat this on hard or very hard without continues. Got it. Okay. We got food. We have... I don't actually recognize what that second one from the end is. We got Tom Nook. We got the F-Zero Racers, which we're going to be getting tonight, actually. Well, that's the goal anyway. It depends on if these guys stall it out or anything. There we go. We got Olmar, which will be set for that as well. Oh boy, yeah. Battle Network 4 got rough. 4 into 5 was the dark period of the Battle Network sub-series of the Mega Let's Play. Did he just totally overshoot it? He did. Amazing. Get out of my face. There we go. Oh, Stan Lee would have made a great titanium kneed hero. One of the issues would be titled "I Need a Hero." There we go. So that is Ganondorf. Ding. Alright. So what is that one? That is... Oh, Smash Coins. Yeah, fair enough. And I think I get that one by doing a bunch of coin battles. Yeah. Discoon, obviously for getting all the bonuses, which boy oh boy is that going to be a big pain in the ass. I've had a couple lucky snags so far that'll save us a bunch of time down the line, but still going to be a rough ride on that one. All right, let's do it, folks. Well, I wasn't really trying to do that, but whatever. Oop. Nope. Is that another Poke? Oh, never mind. Ooh, bomb. Oh, goddammit, Barrel. Do I need a bomb? Doesn't look like it. Oh, fuck you. Oop. Hey. Ooh, we got the ray gun, which I'm pretty sure I've already got. I don't see it there, so go ahead and assume that we have indeed gotten it. I love that I can see the platform below the arena, but the death plane is above that. There we go. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Oh, he's still alive. Hey. Come back. Hoop. Nope. All right. You. And you. Nope. There we go. Honestly, I would be shocked if anyone has gotten Discoon without the use of a guide. Like, some folks may have memorized the guide, or at least memorized the difficult ones, but otherwise, I don't know how anyone would ever have just happened upon it, you know? Oh, Battle Network 5's Liberation missions. Yeesh. Yeesh, yikes. I did like the idea of the Liberation mission. My biggest problem with it was, like, it was just very slow. It's something where I would hope that the Battle Network collection might improve on it slightly. Some quality of life improvements. I'm not sure if Discoon can be won from the lottery. There's a few that can't be won from the lottery. And I think that's one of them. I'm not positive about that, but I'm like 90% sure. There we go. Boom. Whoop. Not what I was trying to do. Also not what I was trying to do. Can I not? I can't wall jump off of these. All right. Oh, fuck you, game. Oh, shit. Huh. Huh. Ooh. Wave race, dude. I don't think we needed him. Doesn't look like it anyway. Fuck you. There we go. Oh, okay, there we go. I believe we're 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we allegedly have approximately 67 to go, though I think that number is off. I think one of those trophies we actually do have already. Just going off of like my internal lists, do not match that. I think it's off by 2, actually. There you go. Picking up a Pokeball. That one had the Mew in it. We all know it. Oh. Ah, damn it. Get out of my face. God damn it. There. Ba, 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 ba. Alright. Clacks on, clacks off. Whoop. I think I've got both mushrooms at this point, right? Yeah, looks like I do. Which is nice. Dr. Mario and Classic. That's an interesting combination. I do like, I think it was what? Jigglypuff with its up throw was one that seemed to have a high likelihood of success. Alright. Oh yeah, up there an all-star. That's right, it wasn't classic. Yeah, that one was going shockingly well on my first attempt. So that might be where I just kind of park and bark. I used to be big on Dr. Mario. My Melee kind of main set was Falco, Dr. Mario, I guess Bowser, sometimes Donkey Kong. I think that was it. I think that was kind of my main 4. With Falco in particular, it's a lot more fun to use Falco against human players as opposed to computer players, because it's a lot easier to actually like use your opponent's strategies against them when they are trying strategies as opposed to just randomly picking from a hat. Alrighty. I found our presents for Christmas. I hope you like cabinets. I don't know. Here we go. Smoky Fox. High school melee tournament running Ness and Dr. Mario with Game & Watch against projectile opponents. Nice. Excellent. I don't know if we ever had a melee tournament. I know in college we had a Nintendo-sponsored Brawl tournament, a Brawl pre-release tournament with our game development club. That was wild. I got through the first round and then did not get any further. I was using Falco. I was also, I believe we were also made to do it using Wiimotes, which is a bummer. And my second round, I was playing Falco up against, God, what was it? I think it was Bowser, Ganondorf. He was breaking out quick. was like Bowser, Ganondorf on the Jungle Japes. Like the one from whatever the N64 one was. And I got absolutely fucking flattened. I had no possibility. The stage was so small for what I needed to do. And I was just constantly getting hammered by like these big, beefy fucking attacks. It was a bad. Ooh, that's Ball Kirby. The one and only time I'm excited to see him. Never mind, I had Ball Kirby. I'm equally as disappointed as I always am to see Ball Kirby. Alright. Run in, run in, man. Run in, run in. Oh, I thought they went up in the air. Whoop. First death in a while. I thought they like kind of left the ground a little more for that. This one I know they do, but oh shit. Well, there we go. I remember it's funny at the time I didn't even realize that professional Smash was like a thing. Like even like a basic kind of sense. Although I did get to live the dream when Ultimate was about to come out, because John and I managed to get out to E3 and we got to participate in I mean, they were running them the entire time, but essentially they kept grabbing I guess it'd be 4 and 4, so 32 person like batches in total. Like they do a match of 4. No, it would be sorry, it would be 16 person batches. They do a match of 4, and then the top 2 from that match would hold on for a sec and then come back for a match against the top 2 from another from another set of 4. So another 4 match, and then if you won that one, not top 2, the winner would go against the winner of another set of 8 people. And that match was on stage, and I actually got to do that. I don't know if it's visible right now. I'll have to turn carefully after. Let's see, can I do it? There's a Smash Brothers hat right there, right where I'm pointing with my finger, that I won for taking second overall. I played as Little Mac. My opponent on stage played as Cloud. And I was not able to interrupt his limit breaks fast enough. But I did take him to his last stock, so I was happy with that. It was a 3-stock match. I think all of them were 3-stock matches. But yeah, went pretty well. That was a cool time. I had never been to E3 before, and I got to be on stage for a chunk of it, which was kind of cool. I say on stage. It was the like exhibition floor. Nintendo had a big space down there for a whole bunch of shit. They had Smash. They had Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which we did not get to. We didn't get to touch that demo. That shit filled up literally within 10 minutes. That line was full for the day. That shit was nuts. You had to be absolutely devoted to playing Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and we realized that during day 1. And we just kind of decided, like, let's not totally ruin our entire E3 experience by standing in line for, like, 5 hours for one game that we're going to play. Like, it's not like playing the demo was going to change our minds about whether we were going to actually play it. Like, we'd already decided. So we didn't actually get to check that one out. We did get to play Mega Man 11, though, because that was also coming out around that time. Oh, man. But yeah, so that was a fun time. That would have been E3 2017? No, maybe 18. So I think Odyssey was already out, so that would have been 18. Because I would have to double check if that's still the case, but in the first couple of years, the Switch had a like significant first party release every 6 months, like clockwork. They launched with Breath of the Wild. Later that year, they had Super Mario Odyssey, and I don't remember which ones came when after that, but every 6 months there was something. Must have hated Canvas and Rainbow Curse. Yes. I did not enjoy those games. And boy, oh fucking boy, is there going to be a lot of Canvas Curse coming up fairly soon. I'm going to have to learn to like it or just be miserable for, like, months. It's going to be a rough goal. Game! I'm also going to have to decide whether, you know, once we do finish with Melee, whether I'm going to jump immediately into the next game or if I'm going to take, like, a couple of weeks and just, like, let the year kind of finish off first. But, all right, so that is Faux. Like a Faux. Bang. All right. Rainbow Curse is better. I will give it that. It's definitely better than Canvas Curse. Like, you would have to actively try to make a worse game than Canvas Curse in that same style. Congratulations. Air Ride is going to be interesting. By the time we were done, I had a better feel for it. A lot of my problems with Air Ride were just that I did not get the mechanics for a long time during that. It just wasn't making sense to me. By the end, I did start to understand at least a little bit better what I was doing. I'm going to have to relearn all of that stuff, which is going to be a bummer. But at least we have specific goals. I think having the specific goals, because we don't have to, it's not like, you know, it's not like this where it's like, I mean, granted, here I've also got specific goals, but being like, oh, I have to do checker nights in blank time, or, oh, I have to beat this race with this you know, air ride machine, or oh, I have to do this special task in City Run or whatever. Like, ooh, Metal Mario. I think I've already got Metal Mario. Yes, I do. Having more bite-sized specific tasks is going to make that a less unpleasant run as compared to Canvas Curse, where that's going to be. I'm gonna do my very best. I don't want to be a sourpuss the entire time, I promise. That is not my goal. And I know that that's not what people want to see, so I'm gonna do my very, very best to keep a smile on my face, but we're gonna be there a while, and I'm gonna be sad on the inside. But we'll find ways to make it fun. We'll figure some things out. God damn. All right, Moltres. Ooh, hello. Mew. Nope. Oh, you blew my metal box, you big dragon bitch. Smile or grimace? It depends how tense my muscles get. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Well, we got no damage through stage 1, so I'll carry it as long as I can. I'm not expecting to actually hold on to it, but whoop! Whoa! Well, there it goes. All right. Nope, didn't want that. Get out of my face. Oh, God damn it. There we go. Yeah, fake that you're enjoying it until you make it you're enjoying it. Ready? Go. Oh, hey, buddy. That'll do. All right. I think we have 7 more adventure modes, this one included. We have 7 left to go, because Sheik and Zelda count as 1. So that'll help us out there. Oh, fuck you. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh, wheezing. Don't think we need a wheezing. Aha! We got the treasures. There we go. Do we know how many of the remaining can even pop up for stuff like that? Most of them can. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 that appear to be lottery only. And we also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not counting the like adventure mode victory ones, 7 that have specific things you have to do. The rest can be like from the lottery or from randomly finding them. So about 2/3 or so, maybe 3/4 of them can be randomly found still. Oh, Pinball Land. The Pinball Land VODs, so the Nightmare Pinball Land was actually like pretty fine, all things considered. I guess that's sort of a spoiler, but it was much more reasonable than I was anticipating. That game can be quite unkind if you catch it on a bad day, and apparently I caught it on a very good day. Other games were less charitable. Immediately, Kirby's Dream Course comes to mind. That shit was a revelation. Extra Course was like discovering a Kaizo hack buried on an old GeoCities site in 2006. You're just like, what is this? How does this even exist? And you're like, whoa, that shit is official? Someone made this? Yeah, I was expecting to be like, all right, here's our first like real challenging one because this is going to get rough. And it was like, I think it was done in like 45 minutes or some shit. Like it was way faster than it had any right to be. Dream Course, on the other hand, was I think 3 streams, and then Superstar. I love Kirby Superstar. That has to be the most time I've ever spent on Superstar in one like block of time. Not in a single stream, but just overall in that like couple weeks. That got rough. Because I think what my goal, like, I'm trying to remember if I set any goal other than the no ability run. I'm trying to remember if that was the only thing that I did, or did I do something else there? Did I do a no damage run too? I don't think I did. I don't want to. God damn it. Yeah, finish it and complete it are 2 very different things. And yeah, the hashtag powerless strong, our no ability arena run was that was a gauntlet. It was harder in spots that I did not expect it to be that brutal. And some spots were actually a lot easier. There were some portions where I was like, oh, that's actually not nearly as bad. Oh man, we got the hold the A button one. I had no fucking clue the absolute shitstorm I was in for with Meta Knight and computer virus. I did not realize just how fucking devious the computer virus fight was going to wind up being. That was like... Because that shit is a joke with powers. That one is so easy to cheese. You just shield, and then you go and you do, you know... Like, when you were started optimistic. Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be... I thought the no ability run was going to be generally difficult, but not insane, and it wound up being one of the most difficult things I've ever done in a Kirby game. Like, legitimately, that was on another level that I was not ready for. Man, how many fucking Pokeballs have we thrown at this point? Smash Brothers should have shiny Pokemon just for the hell of it. I'm amazed that they have not done that yet. Like, have shiny Pokemon, have them be a 1 in 4,000 chance, and then have there be an achievement for seeing a shiny Pokemon. It practically writes itself to the point that I'm stunned they have not done that. I don't know that it really is a lot of extra work. It's just retexturing a model. You don't have to re-rig it or anything. And then you just write an achievement and you're kind of just done. I don't know. I feel like that's such a no-brainer. It's models that weren't in it before. I mean, sure, but a lot of those are just going to wind up being, like, painted on... Whoops. Like, painted on color textures, right? Ooh. Do we have Peppy? I think we have Peppy. Yeah, looks like we got him. Ow. There we go. That'll do. All right. Yeah, Oak. I guess that's a good point. Yeah, he's got an actual code on that makes him a little bit easier to locate. One of these days, I'll do the Mother series. We've off and on talked about it for a while. Back when we were attached to... What is that? I can't even see what it is. I can't tell what that is. It's so... It looks like the Halberd. Is it Onyx? Or maybe Steelix? What's to the left of the Great Fox on my list there? Because it does look kind of like that. Ooh, that was a weird transition. Ah, I was trying to grab that Pokeball. There we go. Oh, that's a turtle. No, it wasn't the turtle. Oh, sorry. I was meaning left of the R wing, because the Great Fox is next to that. Yeah, it's not anything that's left here. Whatever it is almost certainly a trophy that we already have. Yeah, Mother 1 definitely suffers from NES RPG syndrome. Somewhat expectedly, of course, but granted, I grew up playing Dragon Warrior, which is nowadays just really low on my list of, like, oh, fuck you. On my list of RPGs that I would be, you know, thrilled about going back to play. That's fairly low on the list. The only thing that doesn't bring it near, like, the bottom just because of quality of life stuff is that it's not a very long game. Like, if I streamed it, I feel fairly confident that would be, like, probably a two stream game, like 3 at the absolute most. I mean, I'm curious about Mother 1. I would love to see that one through. I know that in many ways Earthbound kind of retreads a lot of that ground, but to the point of basically just making the playable character borderline just, you know, a remake of the playable character of the first one. Just in case. Ugh. Yeah, Dragon Quest II I remember being kind of a pain in the ass for some of that stuff. I'm trying to remember, Dragon Quest II, do you actually get the Prince of Moon... I was going to say Moonbrook, that's the princess. Cannonbrook? What the hell? I'm trying to remember what the prince is from. Cannock. Because he gets sick right near the end of the game, doesn't he? He gets like really severely poisoned or something, or cursed, and then you have to go and like find something to heal him. Yeah. And then I think once you heal him, you basically just charge to the end of the game, right? Yeah, and you can finish the game without him. Yeah, exactly. All right. Ness. All right, we zoomed in. We got some Pokemans, we got some Zelders, and we got Mr. Game & Watch, who is both. I'm getting sick is only in non-NES versions. Really? The original Dragon Quest 2 or Dragon Warrior 2, as it would have been in the States, didn't have him get sick at all. I guess, you know, that's just complicated enough that they would have probably not had that be a thing. All right, let's do this. Did start with the Game Boy Color version. All right, so I owned Dragon Warrior on the NES, and then I owned Dragon Warrior 1 and 2. The combined one on the Game Boy Color. Complete with, I want to say that had a bestiary that like you could do stuff with. Maybe I'm mixing that up with 3. One of them had like a bestiary, you know, thing, which was kind of neat. But then I also got Dragon Warrior 3 on the Game Boy Color, and that was one of my very favorite games. Maybe my favorite game on the Game Boy Color. Not necessarily my favorite game on the Game Boy overall. It gets kind of difficult to delineate them after a while, just because they were Game Boy games. Then there were Game Boy Color games, and then there were like the in the middle ones where it was like Game Boy games that could also like that got Game Boy Color bonuses. So like Wario Land 2, for example, it was a Game Boy game, but it had a Game Boy Color palette. It was essentially like that. The rule for those was essentially like, oh, the Game Boy Color essentially turns into a Super Game Boy for a minute. But like the Super Game Boy when it had like special palettes for things. Kirby hats. Just hang out for a sec here. If you ever want to do Dragon Quest 1 or 2 again, the fan-translated SNES versions. I've never played the SNES versions. I've heard good things, but I've never actually played the SNES versions of any Dragon Quest games. And I think in one capacity or another, the first 5 have Super Nintendo or Super Famicom versions, maybe 6. Maybe 4 didn't. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember whether 4 had a Super Nintendo version or not. I know 4 had an NES version because I played that. I played that in like high school on an emulator. That one took some getting into. I wasn't really ready for the chapter format there. Nowadays I kind of appreciate that they tried something so different where it's like you're gonna essentially do 4 different stories and then you get to combine them all at the end. But it got a little frustrating, like, when I first played that in high school, where it was like, I was starting to get tired of having to start from 0 over and over again. Yeah. So 4, okay, that's fair, yeah. Alrighty. Then 7 was the PlayStation 2 game, I think, right? Or was that 8? Whichever one, the Journey of the Cursed King. I forget if that's 7 or 8. this monkey rap. Ooh. 8 PS2, 7 PS1. Okay, Cursed King is 8. Okay, that's what I thought. Which I only played a little bit into. Honestly, the thing that got me to turn it off was I was getting annoyed with and I feel so bad about this, but I really wasn't a big fan of the battle music. It felt really out of place. It was like this orchestral, upbeat, like happy-sounding track. Which for me, I was like, I'm in an RPG, I'm fighting monsters, and it's like got this weird orchestral jazzy thing going on. And like, it's one thing when you have a game like, you know, Persona or whatever, where like, oh, we're doing like jazz and funk as like an overall like, you know, musical theme for this thing. But for 8, it had like orchestral sweeping kind of things for the general like soundtrack, and then for the battle theme, it sounded like an orchestral, like, cover of a, like, normal RPG battle theme. It's so hard to describe, but I feel like anybody who's played the game is going to know what I mean. And, like, it eventually, I just found myself getting so annoyed with that I was just like, I gotta be done. Like, it's distracting me from my ability to enjoy the game after a certain point. Ah, damn it. Oh. I wonder if I'm clever about this. Ah, fuck you. I wonder if this will count. There's an achievement for hitting with every... No. For hitting with every, like, bolt out of a ray gun. Ooh, I dropped it. Oh no, I still got it. All right. I'm out. I'm curious if that will count. There was one that I'm not sure hit because he jumped at the same time, and I thought that I hit the Octorok behind him, but I'm not sure. Oh, damn it. Why did I do that? Now, granted, this would be a great stage to do that in because there's so many disposable enemies. The question is whether the disposable enemies count. Oop, no, damn it. Goddamn. The PS2 PS2 version of Dragon Quest VIII. US even uses orchestral remixes of the... Oh, so the Japanese version had a MIDI score, and they remixed it with the orchestral one, which, granted, on the one hand is like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, that they're doing something like that. But, like, the end result was definitely kind of hit or miss there. What was that in the background? Did anybody else just see that? It was like a rectangle just flew through the background. What the fuck? I don't know what that was. I've never seen that before. Like, I want to see it again now, but I don't think it's going to happen. Flying theme from 3 with that sunbird thing. Sunbird thing. My brain keeps wanting to say, like, that's something to do with, like, Zapingu or something, but... Oh, they reused it again. Oh, neato. That song is definitely composed with a MIDI instrumentation in mind. Yeah, like, there's something about it that, like, doesn't work. I don't know. There we go. Oh, all right. Well, take this then. Oh, that'll do. A Flying Mountain 3, like, short before you go back to, you know, where... I'm trying to remember... I'm trying to remember how you, like, your means of flying around in 3. Shit. Wow, I'm really blanking on that. I love Dragon Quest 3. It has been a while since I last played it. And now we're going to get... We absolutely are going to cover the 2D, 3D remake. Or sorry, the 2D HD remake. Like, holy shit. That's going to be a damn good time. I'm very much looking forward to that. Granted, it's probably like 6 years out, but even still. I was very happy to learn that Dragon Quest III is like one of the most treasured video games in Japan. And I agree, it's a wonderful game. I'll be very happy to see what they do with it. More mushrooms. 8 Reads of the Godbird and Dragon Quest 11 just wraps around to Dragon Quest 3 stuff, and now we're getting DQ3 again. There's a lot of 3. Yeah, no, it's fair. Yeah, it does. I do appreciate the way that 11 had like one last surprise in a game fucking full to the tits of twists and surprises and like referential stuff. The sudden absolute last moment surprise that it drops that recontextualizes a bunch of shit was like, oh, damn, okay, that's cool. I'm very curious if they're going to tweak any of Dragon Quest 3 to refer back to 11 now. That was 2 Mr. Game & Watch Kirby's. I was wondering as they flew in, because I thought the idea with these Kirby's was that they were supposed to be unique to one another. It wasn't necessarily going to be, like, there's not enough Kirby's for it to be every fighter, but I thought they were supposed to be, you know, no more than one of any given fighter in the match. And that does not appear to be the case. Yeah, 12, so... I would love if 12 was like some kind of distant sequel to like the Zenithia trilogy or something. That'd be pretty rad. I really liked 5 a lot. I still haven't actually played 6 all the way through. 6 is where I am so far parked in the Dragon Quest series. I have played a very small amount of 6. I have never played 7. A very, very small amount of 8. And I've never played 9. Is that Sentinels of the Starry Skies, or is that 10? 10 isn't really available unless I get really clever with either learning Japanese or something, but yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is Sentinels, okay. I never refer to the first 6 Dragon Quest games by their subtitles for 2 reasons. One, I knew them as Dragon Warrior, just number, and then 8 was Dragon Warrior 8 with like the or whatever with the stuff, and then you know now we got Dragon Quest. But I found also I get that they like their like the alliterative titles and things, but they all sound kind of weird. I get that it's a Japanese video game title. It at least makes more sense in the end than a Kingdom Hearts one does, but yeah, I don't know. They just sound weird. I feel like, 5 was like Seeds of something, because it was referring to the generational like aspect of it or something. I don't remember. I don't know. The retrofitted subtitles are all a little bit on the weird side to me. Come on. Nope. Okay. Nice. I do need to go back to 6 again, but yeah, Dragon Quest X it has its offline version, and they're like, yeah, we're not bringing that to the States. And it's like, why? If it's offline, there is literally no reason not to localize it at this point. There's a massive demand for it. Like, oh, it's infuriating. Oh, I almost just jump stalled out of that. Ah, shit. Yeah. Let's see. If you're working your way through the channel, once you've gotten through the Mega Let's Play, if you haven't watched, I think the next one that we started on out of our, like, more major ones was the Dreamy Let's Play. And then shortly after that, we also started the Supersonic Let's Play, which is still very much in motion right now. We're going to be doing Sonic games for years to come, and we've been at it for 6.5 already. Almost a 0% chance of the Supersonic Let's Play being less than 10 years without any post-game style shenanigans, of which I'm not planning any because, I don't know, there's just so many fucking games. Like, for Zelda and Mega Man, our post-games essentially consisted of whole games that we didn't touch. For the Dreamy Let's Play, the post-game was completing all the games because there weren't all that many games in the grand scheme of things, and it was easy to track what we needed to do to 100% them. With Sonic, it's like there's just so fucking many games. It's insane. I think we're approaching our 100th game fairly soon. I say fairly with a really huge, broad stroke. With the Mega Let's Play, we're approaching 100 games very quickly. But we're playing a bunch of games that aren't Mega Man games, but are, like, for one reason or another, like, related to the franchise, or, you know, stylistically or whatever. But, yeah, some of the Sonic games are truly horrific in terms of completing 100%. I know one of them, I would have to think to figure out what the second one would be. I'm curious if it's a game that we have or have not played as of yet. First one is obvious. First one's Shadow the Hedgehog, but I don't know if, like, there's a completion for Sonic Chronicles or something. Because RPG completionism gets a little bit dicey. Sonic Battle. Oh, that's got to be it. Sonic Battle. Just giving you absolutely zero help whatsoever. In some ways, arguably worse than Shadow the Hedgehog for completionism. Because at least with Shadow, if you know what you're doing, you will get there. And you will have a very clear idea of how far along you are at all times. With Sonic Battle, it's just luck. 100% luck. And there's fucking nothing you can do to make it any less specifically luck-oriented. There we go. I'm interested in Sonic Chronicles. One, because for a very long time in high school, I was trying to come up with an idea for, and this was before Sonic Chronicles was a thing. This would have been the early 2000s, but I was trying to come up with an idea for a Sonic RPG. I still have to this day some of my old mock-ups, because I was trying to figure out, like, an equipment system, and it would be like doing it where, like, oh, when you have certain gloves on, the gloves on Sonic's sprite would change or whatever. I still have a bunch of old, like, mock-ups that I made in Paint and Photoshop, and I have mock-ups on notebook paper as well that I still have. So I'm curious how they did a Sonic RPGs in general, and also I am very happy to play anything that pisses off Ken Penders. I am looking forward to playing a game that makes Ken Penders mad as a person. I am very cool with that. There we go. Yeah, Sonic Battle was conceptually fine. If anything, I'm shocked that no one's made a mod. Essentially, I'm surprised that no one's made a fan hack out of that to make a more decent experience overall, because the bones are there. The story mode is just crap. Just the most uninteresting shit over and over again, including literally, oh, you just finished that battle? What if you do it again, but now it's 2 or 3 times longer? Which is such a stunning degree of just, like, not understanding what people want in a video game. It's just honestly wild. There we go. The Shade Lady that pretended is a goat in most of the pregame marketing is clearly the same. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally the same. Exactly the same. Because she is sort of kind of similar in a really roundabout way. And also, the concept of family is copyright Ken Penders. We all know it. We all know it, goddammit. God. Yeah, echidnas that aren't Knuckles is just a truly mind-blowing level of, like, how. Probably one of the biggest legal fuck-ups in the realm of video gaming. Just Archie completely dropping the ball on that. They fumbled the bag in the absolute worst possible way. And the end result is just this catastrophic, just this absolute cascade of just pretending that shit doesn't exist across the Sonic franchise is absolutely wild. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I actually do that in our Kirby and Sonic ones as well. And Felice does them for the Resident Evil games. I do the scripts for that, and then they wind up performing them with a high degree of improvisation and, day of tweaking and things for sound. That's sound. I don't know what to call it. I'm gonna call it ear feel. Just that sense of like, oh, that doesn't sound right. Let's do it like this. Ooh, a Staryu. Haven't seen one of you in a while. Charizard. Hey, look. Is this a Pokemon game? It's Charizard. Who's that Pokemon? It's Charizard. Oh, God damn it. Excuse me. There we go. There it is. So you didn't add those to the I debated it. There was a point where I did debate doing that, but I felt like if I was going to do game-by-game intros for, like, the Too Much Tingle pack, but not for A Link to the Past, like, that felt like that was a disservice to the games that we had already done, and in many ways, the games that helped us find the voice of our channel. Because prior to the Legendary Let's Play, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. And we were still functionally just a podcast that did YouTube videos sometimes. Like, the Legendary Let's Play was absolutely the thing that helped us reshape everything. And it was like, I didn't do a video for Ocarina of Time. I definitely can't do a video for I can't even think of a good example of one that, like, highlights the best, like, Link the Faces of Evil, There we go. The Super Bowl of Let's Plays was definitely, like, a turning point for a lot of that stuff, where it was just like, oh, we can make some crazy shit happen. Thank you. I used to watch the Game Grumps a lot. More during the Aaron and John era, but I did try to keep up with the Aaron and Dan era. Biggest trick there was they had enough series that trying to keep up got a little bit tricky at times. I did like just basically sit down. Usually while editing, I would have one of their series on in the background. I would have like was it Grumpcade? No, not Grumpcade. I think it was pre-Grumpcade. I mean, there was Steam Train, but I'm trying to remember the one, whatever series it was that they did like King's Quest and stuff, where it was Dan and was it Ross? Might have been Ross. Rubber Ross. Oh, hey. I'm Link, so I have to get the Triforce very quickly. But yeah, I have not watched the Game Grumps in a while. Ironically, very similar to our own channel, there's just so much goddamn content that I have no hope of keeping up. In fact, we're actually coming up on our 10,000th Let's Play video. Unless something really dramatic happens, we should be getting there before the end of this year. And I have a pretty good idea of what we're going to do for that video. But we'll... Oh! Well, that was really unfortunate in a couple ways at a time. Was that Steam Train? Okay, I wasn't sure. I think Grumpcade was their earlier sort of like guest Grumps kind of situation. It was a little bit more freeform. Right. There we go. I did do a series of streams of the mainline Metroid games in anticipation of Metroid Dread, and then played Metroid Dread and had a fucking blast. I'd actually never played a normal Metroid game all the way through up to that point. I had played Metroid Prime, and that was basically it. The only other Metroid I'd ever played was like a couple minutes of Metroid 1, like on an emulator in high school, and about an hour. Oh, it's the 01. About an hour of Super Metroid as a team, like a decade ago, as one of the first series on the channel. And that was kind of it. Steam Train was Dan and Ross. Okay. I think I got, yeah. So there's the 01, which we already had. All right. But you'll give up on Metroid. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I remember that. You may have to tell that one again to refresh my memory. I have also been sleeping less than I should. It's been between work and we're doing like the old house hunt kind of thing. So there's been a lot going on. So my brain is definitely off more than on lately. There we go. Ah, damn it. There we go. My brother knew what Cryptic was, predicts I wouldn't play it for more than a day. Oh boy. I'm sure it's my success with a new fan. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I am sold on Metroid. I cannot wait to play Metroid 6 when I'm 45 years old. It'll be a grand day. I can share it with my nephew's kids, who will probably be 7 by then. By the time it comes out, you know, I could probably take a little bit of cash out of my 401k and my AAA card, AARP card. You can tell that I'm old because I know how an AARP card works. Totally. I actually, I was surprised one day in college to get a piece of mail with an AARP card in it and realize after the fact, oh, this is for my dad, who has the same name as me, who just turned, like, I don't know, 50 or something at the time. And, like, probably they went with my college address because that was the last major paperwork that he signed for, like, student loans or something. I would like to play Castlevania one of these days. We had actually debated years ago making that a possible series. My thoughts on it early on were like, okay, when we finish like Mega Man, we should do Castlevania. The through line from one to the other was going to be that essentially Konami has come to abuse Castlevania in a similar way, but in a different way, as Capcom has sort of forgotten about Mega Man. And then Mega Man 11 came out and it was like, I can't really make the claim that Capcom doesn't give a shit about Mega Man anymore when they put out a game that visibly people love. And is now, as of very recently, the best-selling Mega Man game of all time. Mega Man 2 has finally been usurped after 34 years. Mega Man 2 is no longer the best-selling Mega Man game. Similarly, Kirby's Dream Land is now no longer the best-selling Kirby game after 30 years. Kirby in the Forgotten Land has become the best-selling Kirby game. It is definitely very telling that Kirby 1 and Mega Man 2 are the best-selling games in their franchises after 30-plus years apiece. They never managed to outdo those early games. I mean, Mega Man 11 was on Switch. I think we played it on the Switch. But yeah, the Switch has been incredible for so many of these franchises. It really has brought out some extremely good content. A really good Zelda game, a really good Mario game. It might be my favorite Mario game. At least 3D Mario game, rather. We got a pair of excellent Kirby games out of it. Almost. And yeah, just a lot of fucking good-ass games. I would argue Sonic Mania counts. I would argue Mega Man 11 counts, even though... Whoa! I was not ready for that, or I could have definitely used that to my advantage. That was a fun almost skip. Dang, alright. Problem with playing any Konami franchise, you might have to play like 12 pachinko machines. Yeah. That was kind of part of my angle with potentially doing a Castlevania one, was like not just talking about the games in general, but also discussing like what the fuck happened to Castlevania as a franchise. Like just the ruined husk of all of it, where they even tried to reboot it with a pair of games that are allegedly fucking terrible. Yeah. Castlevania. Not to mention, I believe, if I recall correctly, so the Japanese name for Castlevania is Akumajo... Isn't it basically like Akumajo Dracula? More or less. And I think Akumajo just means like... Yeah, it just means like castle. Like Castle of Dracula. So fun story. Castlevania is called Akumajo Dracula. Super Castlevania 4, which is, for all intents and purposes, just a Super Nintendo remake of the original Castlevania, is also just called Akumajo Dracula in Japan. There's no super on it. There's no 4. It's just, essentially, it would just be like naming it Castlevania. There was a game that came out before Castlevania by Konami that is also named Akumajo Dracula, or the Devil Castle, yeah, that has nothing otherwise to do with Castlevania. And there's also a spin-off game of the franchise in the mix in the early days that is also literally just called Devil Castle or Akumajo Dracula. Like, there's 4 or 5 separate games, and I think the reboot was also called that too. There are like 4 or 5 separate games, most of which were within the span of like 4 years, that all just had literally the exact same title in Japan, despite being on different consoles and being nothing alike in terms of like the game that you were playing. The basic gameplay. It'd be like having 6 or 7 games all called Super Mario, like just Super Mario Brothers, so long as it was a platforming Mario game. Like no numbers, no anything. It's so strange. I don't think I've ever heard of a franchise doing that before. where they just kind of decided all of these games are going to have the same fucking name. Oh yeah, Vampire Killers, and yes, yep. Castlevania, like early Castlevania, they visibly did not know what the fuck they were doing in terms of the naming schemes and shit. What are you doing up there? They're gonna jump themselves off the top. What the fuck? What are you doing? What the fuck? Get back here. What are... Dude, stop stalling. There we go. Oh yeah, Kid Dracula as well. Yep. Do we have Luigi with the Poltergust? Looks like a yes. We're not doing great on our trophy finding so far, I gotta be honest. Have we actually found any trophies that we're looking for so far? I don't think we found a single damn one so far tonight. So I'm tempted to go to the lottery tonight, but I think I'm going to hold off on that until the absolute last moment, because we are going to be continuing to do things, at least 2 games whose Japanese name is... Oh, that's right, yeah, a couple of them are just called Castlevania, not the Japanese, variant of Castlevania. It's not like Biohazard versus Resident Evil. It would be like if, Resident Evil Village in Japan was called Resident Evil Village instead of Biohazard Village. Or whatever they call it. I don't know if they call it Biohazard Village. I did like that 7 was called Resident Evil Biohazard in the US and Biohazard Resident Evil in Japan. I thought that was cool as fuck, and it made sense for the game. I thought that was really cool. Very clever way to kind of bring those together. Oh. Oh, okay. I was gonna throw the screw attack at him. Yeah, now it's is it Like a Dragon as the actual title at this point? It's honestly, in some ways, it's honestly kind of surprising that they stuck with the name Yakuza for so long, just because, I don't know, I feel like the actual Yakuza may have had some misgivings about that. Just seems like slightly asking for trouble. I don't know, but I guess if it wasn't known as that in Japan, then it's less of a thing. But yeah, Like a Dragon, it's cool enough. It's a pretty badass name. I'm down for it. Let's go for a swim. Alright. Birdo. I feel like that was one of the weirder to get trophies normally. Like, I think we have it, so I don't really need this, but... Actually, you know what? Oh, it's gone now. Alright. I was gonna say... I haven't used any items yet, have I? Those look like poison mushrooms. That one I can't tell. Looks like a poison mushroom also. Ooh, that counts, I think. Just think about it. It's like, there's a lot of items that drop down here. I could just try to get the Mario thing. Which I'm pretty sure was what? Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, Starman. The available things from Super Mario 1. There's also like a transformation one that I forget if I've gotten so far, which I think the invisibility thing would count for. But you kind of have to, like, pick one and go for it. That should do. I think I need one more. Ooh. Ta-da! I even got one of each. Let's see. Mario Maniac! Hey, we got it! Nice. I completely forgot to check for Laser Marksman when we finished the Zelda stage before. Whoops. So I have no idea if we got that one. Alright, next one I'll try to focus on is either use only food items or use only recovery items. And you need 3 of each of those to trigger the thing. I feel like the food one is easy enough to do. You just kind of, like, as you're playing in general, you wait for a party ball that has all food. I think picking up a party ball does discount that, though. Oh, fuck, it's a redead. Oh my god. Just get me out of here, please. There we go. Oh yeah, we would definitely cover the Netflix series for Castlevania if that came around. I guess series plural, right? Because there were, what, 3 seasons of the first one, and now there's going to be a second series. Set, you know, sometime in the future of the first series. Yeah, I am. Hoobity doobity doobity. Okay. Oh yeah, no, stuff that's WiiWare, I'm sure there are ways to dig up bizarre archives of stuff that you can, like, hack into a Wii or whatever. There's always a way. I'm actually in the midst of doing a similar kind of recovery project for one of our existing series. We'll have to see how that goes. Again, we're playing as Link, so it's right there, right away. Yes, one of our Wiis we have. Well, I think I did the non-hacky version to get Project M working, and that might have actually been the Wii U, not the Wii. Because I think we did that for. No, I'm fucked on that. Ah, damn it! All right, at least it wasn't a Mew. Yeah, Project M. We had to do a thing where, like, you installed some stuff into a memory card. And then that did its thing. Wow. All right. Oh yeah, I mentioned before. I think Project M is the one game from Nightmare and the Dreamy Let's Play that we're not going to do at all. Or sorry, it's the one thing from the Dreamy Let's Play that we're not going to do a Nightmare stream of, because there's not really anything to, like, cover, you know? There's not anything to, like, specifically do there. I was honestly sort of surprised. I didn't know a lot about Project M before we had covered it, but I was kind of hoping that it was more than just we've added some fighters. I was kind of hoping there was, like, a bit more than that, but not to downplay, you know, the work that went into making that happen. Obviously that was a lot, you know, to get that done. And it is very impressive that it is there. From a gameplay side of things, like, it was something I was just kind of like, all right, that's neat, I guess. But it's not really, you know, it's not really scratching that itch in the way that I really want it to. But I don't know what that emoji is. Thank egg. Okay. Interesting. I have no idea what thank egg is, but now we know.
Ready?
All right. Okay. There we go. Game. The Pride Bee is like an egg too, I suppose.
Ready? Go!
Ain't too proud to be egg. Alright. Wait, there's 2 Yoshi ones there. Yeah, what the fuck? I don't think I've ever seen this match have copies of the same one before. So I don't know if I think the Maxim tomato counts as a recovery item, not a food item, I think. Oh dear, yeah. The MSX has weird versions of a lot of stuff going on. Certain version of Symphony of the Night and worse in some ways, but has 2 unique areas. Oh, interesting. All right. Interesting. Oh boy. Just hanging out down there now? This is gonna end well. I mean, I'm just gonna... He's gonna get himself killed doing this. It's hilarious. The AI has, like, soft-locked itself into this pattern. There we go. Can you actually destroy those cannons? I did not know that you could. Interesting. That's so bizarre. I feel like you have to go way out of your way to do that. And also, why? Like, it really barely affects you unless you're falling off to the left on your own anyway. And, like, you have to try really hard to not get fucking destroyed by them by being down there. About finding keys and buying things from hooded weirdos. Okay, it almost seems like it almost sounds more like a Resident Evil style game at that point.
Ready?
Yeah, right. God damn it. Give me Mew. Give me Mew. Give me Mew. God damn it. Why? Ugh. Ugh. Moving on. Time to run. Ooh, I think we have the fire flower though. Yes. We'll leave that one be. Yes. we go. I was like, I'm pretty sure I got space still. There we go. Sorting your key cards and actually shooting anyone. That's true. That's fair. Didn't think he was going to have the reach for that, actually. I love that they have to work so hard at normalizing everyone's heights that young Link is like maybe at most a foot shorter than Captain Falcon. And probably less.
Ready?
What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, fucking, God damn it. Get up here. I hate the on it fight. It just feels clumsy and weird, and I don't like it. Oh my god. It's also full of fucking items that do really low grade damage and knockback, which makes things take a lot longer. Oh, fuck you. There we go. It is a good track, but I hate fighting in it. Fighting that match specifically. Using that map generally is fine, but it's the adventure. It's stage 9 specifically that I don't like. Ooh, another claptrap. God damn it. Alrighty. There we go. Boing. Or only good if the opponent's made a shield, which is dumb. Oh, does it bounce through shields? I've never cared about the Mr. Saturn items just in general. Get over here, asshole. Alright. Break shields easily. Ah, okay. That makes sense. Alrighty.
Ready?
That was easy. Ba, 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 ba. All right.
Ready?
Care. Ooh. Food item 1. It's not going to last long enough, but if I see 2 more, then I'm going to take them. Whoop. Well. Ah, damn it. And there's number 2, and I accidentally picked up the fucking... Okay, I was going to say, if that's a Mew, I'm going to lose my shit. There we go. Drink that milk. Drink it. Get strong bones. You stupid child. Falling down. Alright, that's another one. Ding. Which means we got 3 more to go. Oh, yeah. Everyone's just in awe of his milk drinking skills. They're just like, fuck. Alright, is that everyone from the second row? It is, so we're now down to the bottom row, where we have Mr. Game & Watch, Mewtwo, and Little Bitch. Little tiny Danger Mouse. Yeah, yep, it is. I mean, you certainly, like... The milk from... I don't even know why I grabbed that. I would love to see someone do a no damage run with Pichu of literally anything. It just sounds like torture. Half your fucking moveset is just instantly invalid. Ooh, let's see. I don't know if I grabbed anything so far, but that is a recovery item. Ah... Bulbasaur. That's a food item. Damn it. And again, I don't know if a maximum tomato counts as food or recovery. I mean, it definitely counts as recovery. I don't know if it also counts as food. I don't think it does, but... Right. Oh boy. Oh! I don't think that counts as using it if you hit it. Like, hitting it with an attack I don't think qualifies as actually using that. Really? Oh my god. Ooh, that's a recovery item. Oop. Right, that's 2, so if I can get another recovery thing... And again, I think food is its own kind of section. I don't think food and recovery are the same thing. Oh, you're right. Shit, I did grab the cloaker. Yup. Fart. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Ah, well. Beep, beep. All right, later, Prince Dusk. Have a good one. Catch you later. Time to fight a dude and a princess. Nice. Hey, look, guys, it's a Raichu. Ooh, all right. I'll be very curious how long this series overall winds up being. Just considering how long the 100% speedruns used to be before they actually got like worked down and optimized and stuff. So I think the first 100% speedrun was something like 60 hours. Which I don't even entirely know how you get that far. Oh! I will be very sad if this winds up somewhere in that ballpark, but... Here we go. Alright. Oh! My fucking neck. Master Sword. At least he can fucking skitter around nice and quick. Ooh, Balloon Fighter. Later, Alex Have a good one. Assuming the Me Too was off of going to bed and not something that I said that I have already forgotten, which is entirely possible. Oh, your neck hurts too. Okay. I realized right after I said later that I was like, hang on a second. Oh, whoops. All right. I guess there's a mushroom up there. Whoop. Game. Oh, welcome back. What are you dumb about? We're all dumb today. It's good. It's all solid. Where are you going? Oh, God damn it. Dude, what the hell? There we go. We got Pichu. Oh, I definitely deleted the wrong line on this side of things. That's fine. It's correct in there, and that's where it counts. But yeah, Pichu, Mr. Game & Watch, and Mewtwo will be all good on that front. There we go. Boop, 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 bow. Poliwhirl. Huh. Don't need it, but it's nice to see him. I like Poliwhirl. I feel like nobody likes Politoad. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Poliwhirl through Poliwrath has such a unique design, and then Politoad is like a frog, but I feel like Politoad needs some love. Yeah. Well, welcome back then, or welcome to still being here. This isn't good for that. Oh, yikes! Shit. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what like the very, very end of all of this is going to have in store. Because I don't know a damn thing about Star Force 3. I haven't done any research for an intro video yet, so I don't even know that much about it. All I know about Star Force 3 is what little I know about Star Force 4, which has almost nothing to do with Star Force 3 to my knowledge. I have heard that it's got like absurd, crazy, super final post-game boss in the mix. Like just silly ass, crazy, intense shit. You ever been to Comic-Con? No, Comic-Con's on my short list of things I'd love to go to sometime. San Diego Comic-Con and D23 is one that I'd love to go to sometime. Post-game boss is undamageable about 80% of the time. Awesome. Great. Great. Can't wait for that. Dude, whoa. Okay. Huh. That was fast. Still seeming to set up for another situation like Star Force 2. Oh no. That should be interesting. Damn, the knockback on that is fucking crazy. Yeah, definitely Falco. Shit. Nice. I'm looking forward to getting into Star Force 3. We are actually going to be pushing it back. I got to make the formal, I guess, kind of announcement about it. But, you know, December 3rd was more what we were hoping to be doing when the 24-hour stream was 2 weeks earlier, like on actual Extra Life Day. And then life got busy. Thanksgiving got crazy. It's been kind of a wild ride, but we will be starting Star Force 3 before the end of the year for sure, but it's not starting this weekend. I think there's a good chance we're going to start recording it this weekend, but it will not be out this weekend. God damn it. Every time we come to this level, I'm hoping. Fucking Wobbuffet's all over the place today. Nope. Damn it. All right. Ooh, Jesus. I wish that the DX bosses gave you something in Star Force 2. It's kind of a bummer that there's no benefit to doing the DX ones other than just bragging rights. Like, granted, they seem like they would all be fucking horrible to have to deal with, but even that aside, I don't know. It would have been cool. A DX chip would have been pretty rad. The system of the DX equivalent giving you something in this game. Okay, interesting. Star Force 3, we haven't decided yet. I own both copies. I own Black Ace and Red Joker, and I have not yet decided which one we're going to do. My understanding is, I mean, granted, it's the last game in Star Force, at least presently, so the question of which one is more canon, there's really no good answer there, considering the poll, I think, actually wound up going to Black Ace at the end. And admittedly, I had Red Joker. I was planning on doing Red Joker originally, and then I thought about it. I was like, I don't think there was actually a reason why I was going to do Red Joker. I think I just happened to have it, so I figured I'd just do that one. But Black Ace was easy enough to get a hold of, so I don't know. I thought I had heard that Red Joker is a harder to find physical copy, which might have been why I was originally thinking Red Joker. But I don't know. If that is the case, then maybe we will do Red Joker, but ooh, Parasol. I think we're good on Parasol. Yeah. But yeah, my understanding is there's not really a more canon version. Whereas, like, was it Team Colonel for 5 and Psybeast Greygar for 6 are like 5% more canon than Team Proto Man and Psybeast Falzar. If only because in 6, Mega Man knows Colonel already pretty well, which he wouldn't based off of the events of Team Proto Man. And also, just the kind of nice continuity of Psybeast Greygar being kind of based off of the same kind of, you know, stuff as Gospel, right? I thought that was kind of a cool thing to, like, have a little piece of continuity for. But my understanding is Black Ace and Red Joker don't really have any such, like, things along those lines. Falzar, I don't know. I mean, Falzar is pretty cool. They're both pretty cool, actually. I don't know if I feel like if one is cooler to me than the other, but Final Forman's associated bonuses. Joker's more useful. Ace is probably cooler, more fitting. Yeah, all right. And the Giga cards, yeah, the Giga cards have been different for a while, too. I think since 4. I don't know if 3 actually, I forget if 3 had different cards, or chips, rather, or if it was just, I'm trying to remember. 3 had Because there was the boss Bowlman and Mistman that were version exclusive. The funny thing is that the hardest base fight in BN6 has him using the other Psy Beast. They wanted to give him Falzar because Gregor would be too similar to Gospel. Interesting. Alright, here we go. Ah. There we go. Whoop, there that goes. Yay. Gospel Breath from... Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. 3 had different... Oh, 3 did have different Giga Chips too? Okay. Could not remember if that was the case or not. Alright, and then there were 2. Mewtwo and Mr. Game & Watch. I think I'm going to do Mewtwo first and end with Game & Watch just because that's just sort of his role, being the last one out. Oh, really? Star Force 3 goes back to V2 and 3. That's so weird. Like, V2 and 3 are so far back. Like, that's Battle Network 3 is the last time they use version 2 and up? Or is it 4? Because I know that one of the games goes up to V5, which is just hilarious. A lot of it feels like Battle Network callbacks. All right, fair enough. Just fitting for them inadvertently making, you know, the last Star Force game for, you know, a decade and change. 3 has V5 cards. All right, yeah. I think that was part of the reason. I think for Battle Network 3, I just straight up used a Game Shark code or something, because I think I looked at the requirements for the folder and I was just like, no, that's fucking ridiculous. I'm not doing that. And 4 and 5 have base SP DS. You can't even use the DS. Yeah, unless you're... Yeah, that was... Oh, I guess. All right, food items. 1, 2. So I need 1 more food item. And then I need to not touch any other items. Okay, now we need to not use any other items for the rest of this stage. In fact, I'm just going to race to the end just because there's a few that will activate if I touch them. There we go. Oh, like that, for example. Okay. Come on. There we go. Run, run, run. Don't want to use any items. All right, that should get it. It should be called Gourmet. Gourmet! Hey, we got it. All right. Nice. Yeah, Battle Network 3, I mean, there was a part of me that felt moderately bad about it, but I think I just looked at the requirements and was like, this is not going to be fun at all. And I don't know, like... At this point, I was like, yeah, I don't really feel bad about that. It would have been extremely repetitive. S-rank boss in 10 seconds in team style. Jesus Christ. Yeah, honestly, by the end, I think we were using cloakers just to get around the internet because it was becoming so fucking aggravating. How the encounter rate was just ridiculous, and you needed to be online constantly to navigate. Like, something that I liked about the old Battle Network games in Star Force 1 was that you could go to basically everywhere and then jack in and do stuff. Whereas this one, it's like, oh, you want to go to WhatsApp? You want to go to Loch Ness? You have to go online to get there. You have to cross the internet to get there. Like, and then once you're there, you have to cross the internet to get back. There's no like quick returns of any sorts. It's like, god damn. Yeah, I hope that they make at least a few moderate tweaks to the general. Like, they've made it clear that they're using... These are not emulated... Like, these are not emulators running old ROMs. These are full-on ports that they've already made a couple tweaks to here and there. I think I had mentioned on a video of something, might have even been Star Force 2, that one of the tweaks they made was that in Battle Network 6... Once you have beaten the game, it will turn off the "you're at the end of the game" panic music, which is such a huge plus. Oh god, that's so annoying in those games where it's like, oh man, I can't wait to hear. It's Battle Network 1's track, but the point remains. Yes. Oh, so good. It doesn't even have it? Fuck yeah. I'm down for that. Oh, man. Yeah, the Skywave was like, it's a neat idea, but just no. The encounter rate was just way ridiculous. It reminded me in some ways of... I want to say Battle Network 2 when they introduced the like cyber squares, where you had like the BBSs and all that stuff. All right. There we go. Big beautiful Steve. Oh yeah. The memories. Oh, boy. All right. Starman, hi. Ooh. All right, let's do it. Let's rock and roll. Cool, less than 2.5 seconds. Neat. I was starting to wonder if at this point all of the remaining trophies are going to be lottery based. Other than the ones that are like specific action ones, because like there are a bunch that we have picked up that were in lottery only zones, but also like I don't know, the fact we have yet to pick up a single trophy all night that we don't already have makes me feel like there's a good chance that all of the rest of these are going to be lottery exclusive. With the exception of, you know, from our list here, everything from the beginning to Discoon, which are like specific goal ones. Be curious to see how many coins we have, because no, I was going to say we haven't spent any, but we have spent some on like game overs and things. That's the other thing, is I am going to need coins for like fucking game overs and shit. You know, Mewtwo's up throw wasn't half bad, too. Also, to be fair, some of those trophies are still locked, too. A few of the trophies, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the trophies are only obtainable once you have more than 250 trophies, which we do not currently have. We have about 230 or so, like right around 230, so we're close, but we don't have 250 yet. I'm trying to remember if the game actually will tell us when we have 250. Oh, hello. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Game, you are killing me with this. Jesus. God damn it. Yes, the game will tell us when we hit 250. There is a message for that. Alrighty. It's true. Jigglypuffs is faster. That will help. Yeah, let's go back. Another Mr. Saturn. I love giving that one to me today. Oh, damn it. There we go. There we go. Most of the stage makers put in details just because they want. That's pretty cool. I do like that. I appreciate that that's a thing that they get into, especially for, like, you know, for these games in particular. Like, it's just a fun thing to be able to be like, oh, look at that thing going on in the background. That's cool. All right. Come on up here, kids. Time to throw you. Goodbye. There we go. Included making the wheels of the cars move in the background, even though that would literally never be visible. He told them to take it out because of that. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, if it's just literally never going to be visible, then there's not a lot of point in that taking up, you know, hardware. Redead. I do not need Redead. Yeah, I think at this point, there's a very good chance that we have expended nearly all, if not completely all, of the lottery-only trophies. Which is a bummer, to be sure. Oop. There we go. Yeah, all right. So I was like, railings on the sides to cover the wheels, completely normal gameplay. It's like, oh, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, it could have been like a preparatory kind of thing. Like, who knows if they will change a thing that makes those visible suddenly, and then, haha. But yeah, no. If it's not gonna be visible, then there's no reason to have it. Oh, thank you, Protoss. You guys ever go back to Mega Man X Dive? Yes. We're planning to, in fact. If we ever get word that the servers are going to be going down, like the game is shutting down or anything, we will put that like front and center right away. But we are going to come back around to Mega Man X Dive when we get to, 2021, essentially, in the Mega Let's Play post game. We kind of took a little bit of a break. There's some cool stuff coming up, but it needed a little bit more time to cook. But that should also be coming around before the end of the year. Yeah, that's basically the plan. Yep. Oh, I almost hit him with that. Right. Ready. Face. Oh, fuck you, really? Oh, fuck you, Saturn. Yeah, basically, right? Like, oh no, here it comes. Alright, it's Mewtwo down, which means we got one more left to go. Bing. Alright. Look at all them fire dudes. Moltres, and more popular legendary than Moltres, and more popular legendary than Moltres, and also Mewtwo. Let's do green. Here we go! If we can get recovery items in here, that'd be cool. How the hell did that happen? God damn it. Alright. Oh. More Kirby hat. Ah, there's one. Oh, well, I deserve that. I need 2 more recovery items. Ah! Alright, Starman does not count. More Kirby hats. It's not gonna be today, I suppose. Oop. Just trying to hit the fucking... Oh my god. Nope. Nope. Well, alright, there it goes. Game. There we go, and there it is. I was like, come on, give me one. Just because. Nope, didn't want to pick that up. Poor Mr. Game & Watch took fall damage. There we go. Alright.
Ready?
Here we go. There we go. La-la-la-la-la. Oh, all right. Getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Oh, well. Whew. Underground Maz.
Ready?
Nice. Ow. Thanks, game. Birdo. Ow. It's fitting that the Birdo is here with the Octoroks. Okay. Oh, damn it. Hey. Cool. Yeah, we're in Snorkville.
Ready?
Oh, yeah, some sniffets would be great there. There we go. Kill you while you're invisible. Ho ho! Alright. Whew. It's like an endurance trek at this point. Here we go. Ba-dow, bow, bow, bow. Oh no, warning! Freezy. Yeah, we already had that one. Yeah, so we are nearing the end of what, like 10 adventure mode runs without even one new trophy that wasn't the you beat adventure mode with somebody trophy. Like, oh, fuck you. I think it's safe to say that the rest are gonna be lottery only. So we may have to resort to that. Unfortunately.
Ready?
Nice. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-doo-doo. There we go. It's true, though at this point the odds are low enough, and it's like, I don't want to go... Like, I'm going to be doing more one-player mode stuff anyway. Like, I have to beat... You know, I have to beat these modes on, like, hard and very hard and stuff like that to get a couple of those last messages, but I don't know that I want to be focusing on trophies when I'm doing that either. So I think it's probably at a point where it's okay to start going to the lottery, right? Yeah, it definitely is one of those, like, you sort of notice after all, you're like, hey, wait a second. Like, if you've seen Bullet Train, there's a point about 2/3 the way through the movie where you suddenly notice that the train is devoid of most characters that aren't the main characters after a while. And you're like, huh, wait a second. Alright, give me some Pokeballs. Come on. It is nuts how many fucking Pokeballs I've thrown and I haven't found one Mew yet. God damn. Yeah, I mean, we got a whole shitload of Celebies last time. Yeah, well, I mean, it did seem for a while in like the previous maybe 2 streams that it was more often than not giving us trophies that we needed over ones that we didn't. Lakitu. Do I have Lakitu? Looks like I do have Lakitu. But yeah, it did vaguely seem like it was prioritizing ones that we hadn't gotten yet before. So the fact that we're getting literally no new ones now make me wonder if we just expended all of them and that's it. Like, oh, there's no more help to give, you know? All right. I hit him so hard a mushroom fell out of him. There we go. On it, of course. Or won it.
Ready?
Nope, let me jump. Piece of shit, kids. Where the fuck are you going? Oh. Oh my god. Whoop. Damn it. There we go. Every stage you run through in Triple Deluxe give you one new keychain guaranteed. Oh, I didn't know that. That is good to know. I was looking through some of the stuff that'll be going through for completion for that, and I was like, yuck, this is going to be a little tricky. I think the spinner we already have, yeah. And again, it seemed previously like this game was essentially, you know, doing pity trophies. Like it was assisting in getting trophies we didn't have, so... And again, this stream we've gotten exactly 0 that we didn't already have outside of the, you know, beating adventure mode ones. So it would lead me to believe, you know? There it is. Yeah, we've been getting a fucking assload of Mr. Saturn trophies. They've been every goddamn where tonight. Oh, Jesus. Come attack me. There we go. Gotta sit up straight. Last two battles. Here we go.
Ready? Go!
There it is. Alrighty.
Ready?
Of course I miss when I finally land a 9. There it is. Alrighty. There goes Bowsy. There is that. That is our Mr. Game & Watch trophy. And it should also get us the F-Zero Racers trophy. And a message, too, I believe.
Congratulations!
All right, let's see. Yeah, there's our message. There's Mr. Game & Watch. And there's F-Zero Racers. Which is that one. Ding. Excellent. So, let's see. What do we have left? There's only one trophy left from one-player mode, and that is to beat Adventure Mode on hard or very hard without continues. Everything else in one-player mode is either... Everything else is a message or the no damage clear bonus, which I can do on any of them. There are 2 trophies that I get from Versus Mode, which are essentially play a shitload of battles of 2 different kinds. There are 3 special ones that are going to be kind of gotten throughout, and then the rest are random but appear to be lottery ones. So you know what? Let's go to the lottery. Let's do it. I think it's time. I think it's gamble time. Pretty good odds. So, pretty good odds for even just that. Let's just see. Baby Mario. Let's knock him out. Where's that in here? There's Baby Mario. Let's do it again. 33 is pretty decent odds. I'm going to stick with one at a time here. Yeah, like, I'm just kind of doing the math in my head, and I'm like, 5 coins to have a decent chance there is not worth it. Tingle, hey. So the best way to do these odds in your head, think about, okay, 1 coin has 33% odds. I mean, now it's 32.3, but before it was 33% odds. So what you do is you go, okay, the odds of not getting one is 67%, or about 2/3. So the odds of not getting one twice in a row is 2/3 times 2/3, or 4/9. It's about 44%. So the odds of getting one, using 1 coin at a time, within 2 tries is about 55, 56%. And they wanted me to pay 5 coins to have that just as the one-time roll odds. So, not worth it. Alright. Come on. Dixie Kong! Where is she in here? There she is. Alright. Dixie Kong. She's part of the lottery-only set, actually. She is our first lottery-only trophy that we've gotten so far. Like, lottery-only from the get-go. Alright. Wait, did we already have a Metroid? I guess we already had a Metroid. Let me knock that off the list. So that was probably one that I forgot to get rid of before. Yes, I don't see Metroid in my list on here, so I just forgot to take that out of the charts. That explains some of the thing there. Eevee. Yeah, the biggest trick when it comes to statistics, just the odds of something happening, is more often than not you're actually measuring the odds of it not happening, and the math works out easier if you do it that way. Suicune. Alright. This is going well so far. Alright. Raikou, or Raikou. I always know it as Raikou. I think it's because of Raichu. And like the OU is easy enough to internalize as oo instead of O, but alas. Coin, nice. Come on. Chozo statue, that's fun. Eggplant Man. Alright. Japanese transliterate, yeah, Raikou. Hey, there's Professor Oak. Yeah, I've been trying to be more conscious of saying Suicune as opposed to like. I've never done Suicune, but I've definitely been guilty of Suicune when I was a kid, and now I'm just like, no, it's definitely more like Suicune, like Suikoden. Chansey. Alright. Raymark 2. There we go. I've been wondering when we were going to stumble across that one. Or sorry, Raymark 3? 2? Ding. I think it's 2, but I typed it in wrong on my thing. That's okay. The good news is, while yes, there are some things we're going to want tokens for. Yes, Articuno. We also are going to have a few things that we need to just, like, if we need to do a no damage run, or we need to do a no continues run, then we're not spending coins on those anyway. So it'll be an opportunity to get more. Also, I only had like 100 some odd coins, so there's a very good chance there's going to be like, there we go, Fighter Kirby. Like an entire ass stream of just doing dodgies and things. We'll see, though. We probably have gotten between like 200 and 300 coins so far, given the amount that we've spent as well. Yeah, it might just be like kind of a podcast stream kind of thing. Chill and chat. Yep, we got ducks. I don't think ducks was on our list still. But just, you know, ducks. Boo! Hey! Yeah, I think we had reached the point where we weren't going to be getting any more just out and about anymore. The good news, too, is we don't need to have 1,000 coins on us to get the Tom Nook one. We just need to get 1,000 coins. Oh, look, Claptrap. Poison Mushroom. Chikorita. Hey! We got Ditto, and that's fun that, like, we got the little thing there as the message. So I think that meant that, yeah, we, I think, are now up to 250, which means that there are 4 more trophies that'll be available to us. I think there were some trophies that were only available at, like, 200 also. And Ross. Oh, did they actually go up? I wasn't looking. I knew that we were in the 20s, but that's probably the reason they want you to get 1,000 coins, because you cap at $9.99 at a time. And that feels like a very Tom Nook thing to you know. Hammer, hey. Do 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 do. All right. Other Andross. Eevee. Ooh, I don't like those eyes. Fuck. Stanley. Venusaur. Hey. Got it. Venusaur. There you are. Good boy. Donban and Dakari are showing up a fucking lot tonight. So is Birdo. Fountain of Dreams. Hey, that's a good one. All right. Shows a statue again. Oh, look, a Mr. Saturn. Hey, red shell. Nice. All right, let's keep it moving. Oh, that's right, Donkey Kong 3. Well, Misty. Go. Come on. We're down to what looks like 36. It like took a second there. Did anybody notice that it like lagged for a split second? Bubbles. Oh man, those were fun fakes. I was wishing for it. I was very glad that when Brawl came around, that we actually did get Sonic. That was fun. It's true. It is a really intricate... the Hate Giant at long last. We got the Love Giant very early on. All right. Igglybuff. All right, we're down to less than 1 in 5 odds of getting a new one each time. Pooh. Meta Knight with a dash. A rare dash for Meta Knight. Do, do, do. Hello, Seidel. The moon. Hell yeah. Alrighty. We're spending our life savings to see how many of our Pachyderm. how many of these remaining trophies we can get. It does seem like all of the trophies that are remaining after those first 6 in the list there are all going to be lottery exclusive, which means we just have to keep getting coins. Where I go. Blastoise. Moltres, hey. All right. Sweet. Suicune. Hey, King K. Rool. See, I wonder if that took longer to load because of his reflective stomach plate. Alright. We're now down to the last 30 trophies. Come on, give me like 3 more out of these last 30. Oh yeah, they're getting nice and meaty. You can actually see them. Turtle, hey. All right. Literally back to back. Wow. Hey, King Doo-Doo-Doo. All right. I think Discoon is probably going to be... Oh, that's right. Never mind. No damage clear is a bonus. I was going to say that it was probably only going to be a one-stream thing, but just because I could focus on that for versus modes, but the no damage clear is going to be a bitch and a half. Oh. Hey, Ridley. Drink. Because, yeah, we got Meta Knight, we got King K. Rool, we got Ridley, we got King DDD. A double Slippy Toad, oh god. Yeah, not so much. Heracross, that's fun. Star Rod. Hey, Pikmin! Nice. Alright, 12 more coins. Look it. Ah, Bayonet. Not to be mixed up with anybody else. Oh, man, I missed that Cleveland one. Don't go to South Cleveland or you'll die. Our city's chief export is LeBron James. Those two videos were classics. Oh, yeah, the river that catches on fire, yes. Are we going to get one in these last two? No. Well, there we go. Yay, and there's our message about 250 trophies. Whew, so let's see. What is left here? We have the no damage clear. We have to beat Classic Mode on Very Hard with a stock of 1. We have to beat Adventure Mode on Very Hard with a stock of 1. We also just have to beat Adventure Mode on Very Hard and on Very Hard without continues. We have a whole bunch of Very Hard to do with Adventure Mode. All-Star, we also have to go on Very Hard, but we have, I guess we only have one stock there anyway. We got to play a whole shitload of versus battles. We have to play a whole bunch of coin battles. We have to get more Smash coins. I got to turn on a game of Pikmin. And I have to get all of the bonuses and approximately 19 more trophies. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 bonuses left to go. So, doing pretty good. This entire thing is going to hinge on how those one-player mode things go from here. Like, I don't know, because the question is, do I dive into versus mode and try clearing some of the bonuses, or, I mean, this is the end for tonight, but I'm just kind of wondering to myself whether next time I'm going to dive into versus mode and try to clear out more of the bonuses and, you know, get some of those versus mode, like, things just kind of cleared out in general, or do I dive into the, it seemed like the hardest to do, so maybe save them for last, maybe, right? Like, and just kind of looking at the bonuses that are left, I don't see any of those bonuses happening by accident. Yeah, I don't see any of these being things that I'm just going to happen to do. And I'm not going to, like, obsess over Pokeballs if I'm trying to beat versus, if I'm trying to beat, you know, very hard with stock of 1, right? So, yeah, so I'll probably... Next time, I'm probably going to dive into versus mode and start doing that. The challenges that I have left, the only one out of the one-player modes where continues are even an option is clearing adventure mode on very hard. But I'm also going to have to do it with no continues, and I'm also going to have to do it with a stock of 1. So I'm probably just not going to bother with very hard with continues. I'm just going to reset if I get a game over, right? So, yeah. So what I'll probably wind up doing is clearing as much of the versus mode stuff as I can, and then picking one of the one-player modes and just going at it. So I think that's going to be it for tonight. We're getting close though. Like, as you can see, we're down to 25 trophies left. So not too bad. Not too bad. This may very well take the rest of the month, but we'll see what we can do, right? Thank you guys very, very much. Yeah, the lottery was way more fortuitous than I was expecting. I thought we were going to get a couple. I didn't think we were going to clear out like 30 of them. But yeah, thank you guys again very much. Tomorrow there's going to be a Patreon hangout around 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to put a post up about it in the morning. So congested right now. Monday, I believe Dave is going to be playing something new. Tuesday, I'm going to be playing more Pokemon Violet. Wednesday, I believe Jeff is going to be playing something. I don't know if it's an Indo or something else. And Thursday, we're going to be coming back to this. It'll be Thursday the 9th. Sorry, the 8th. Thursday the 8th. Yeah. Thank you guys very, very much. Have a good one. I'm going to get out of here. Bye.